Hi, everyone. I'm Matt.
I'm Stacy.
I am an organizer for GDG San Fernando Valley in Los Angeles and the Pacific Mentor.
Well, we have a slide for this, actually.
Do we?
Yeah, we totally do.
Where's the clicker?
Yeah, the clicker's right there.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
And we're here to talk about the difficult question of asking for help.
So how many people here like being an organizer? Okay, almost all hands. We really should see all hands. Kind of shouldn't be here. Okay, so put your hands up again if you like chatting about technology and stuff like we've been talking today, right? Yeah, so hopefully almost every hand, right? And now one more time, keep your hands up if you like asking people for money. Anybody? And we actually have a lot more. Great. So just you guys do it from now on, and the rest of us will relax. Will that work?
Wait. Are they our sugar members?
Yeah.
Right? Like, we're going to you? All right.
Oh, we can go past that.
That has our social media info, if you want it.
We'll bring it up later.
So let's talk about what everybody needs. Every meetup needs these 4 things: a place to hold the meetup, people to go to the meetup, speakers for the meetup, and food for the people, right? So if you think about putting an event together, it's pretty much these 4 things, number 4 being somewhat optional sometimes, depending on budget. And one more, swag for the people. That's a special call out for Dan and Tim over there. But what is it that sponsorship can actually provide you? Well, it can provide a place to hold the meetup. People to go to the meetup. Oh my gosh, yeah, it's a company, you're having it on campus. Guess what? It's really easy for them to show up, isn't it? Speakers for the meetup. Oh, you're having it there. Guess what? They probably have some speakers or somebody affiliated. And guess what? They probably will want to sponsor. Get them to put food on the table. And take a load off of their recruiting team and take some of their recruiting swag and hand it out. Oh my gosh, it's just off of one sponsor. You've been able to do all of these things. Imagine if you get more sponsors. What could you do?
So let's talk about who to ask, now that we know why we want to ask.
Recruiters. I talked about that a second ago. Recruiters are great resources to hit up to get sponsorship because they have budgets allocated directly for this kind of thing. And then especially ones from large corporations.
You want it?
Yeah, I'll take the clicker, thank you. You help them with the diversity and inclusion initiatives and brand recognition, especially if they have new products they're trying to sell to developers. And it's very cost effective. You think about how much it actually costs to run your meetup for a year. Even with food, it's probably less than a few $1,000s. Am I right? Do you know how much it costs for them to recruit one person? 10% of their salary, sometimes 15. So they're looking at anywhere between $7,000 and $20,000. If they hire one person off of your GDG in 2 or 3 years, they have made money. So think about that, and that's an excellent point to sell to them. And who would you actually talk to? Facebook, IBM, AT&T, Intel, Google. They're great places for sponsoring, like us showing up here. Now let's talk about nonprofit organizations. They are sponsorship experts. They live off sponsorships. They literally don't exist otherwise. So they could have places that are public meeting spaces as well as advisors and connections for how to get more money. So you can talk to STEM professional organizations. I hope that all of y'all are associated with some other meetups or other organizations like Women Who Code, National Society of Black Engineers, even food banks and education centers. Our food bank in North Texas is huge. They have a large education center and a large event center as part of their as part of the food bank, and they actually host these kind of educational meetings there. Government agencies, your hometown and at a national level. This might be a little bit different depending on where you live. But special agencies in your local or state government may have availability based off campaigns to do sponsorship. Especially since we are a STEM-based organization, there might be something that is directly for even your township or something that's citywide. You can usually find these on their websites or by just contacting your local town hall. and just seeing what they have available. They might even have event space. And remember, government facilities. Your citizens, libraries are where a lot of meetups are held. It's a good option, especially if you're looking for something free and consistent, and with plenty of parking. Oh, shoot.
One more.
Human resources. So your company and or others. We talked a little bit about recruiters. They're part of human resources, but a certain degree of that is also maintaining the people that they already have. So your GDG promotes diversity, inclusion, and community. Those are values that a lot of companies actually respond to. So even just from HR from your own company might be willing to support you just because of the values that you share and how you are upholding those values within the community. So not even just trying to recruit people. And example, contact on LinkedIn or websites.
Oh, there's one more.
Here's one more. Developer advocates. How many of you know DevRel folks? How many of you basically are DevRel folks?
You don't know one. Now you do.
Talk to people, right? So developer relation experts have campaigns around products, and that usually means budget. I know that we've all heard things about Google Cloud and running different events around that, as well as study jams. That's all from budgets that have to do with developer relations. You are somebody who works with developer relations, whether or not you actually realize it. Guess what? You kind of are DevRel within your own community. So you should be tapping into that money, y'all, okay? Like, get some cash. And this is especially true if you already have talks planned, especially with regards to study jams. You can kind of hit up some of those teams sometimes if you got a little somebody you know on the side and get a little extra swag. And attendees. It is one of those things that we don't always want to ask for money, but it can be good to actually know how many people are going to show up. Can you hit the click?
Yeah, sorry.
So, and it also gives you a few dollars to go a long way in being able to offer something a little extra or something a little higher quality. And by that, we mean a little bit extra for like food. So being able to upgrade for the price of $5 from pizza to fresh sandwiches or something like a salad bar is huge, right? Especially for being able to uphold those inclusion values.
Yeah. Okay, so we know why and we know who. Let's talk about how. So when I asked how many people like asking for money, most people don't raise their hand. In general, it's easier if you're in your comfort zone. And so we want to try to do things that are related to our comfort zone and slowly branch out. And so I'm a database person. I'm really good when things are like ordered and logical. So make a list. Start with that. The first step, everyone can do it. You just go to Sheets or Excel, whatever you want to use, and you start making a list, okay? Everyone feels comfortable making lists.
That sheet, man.
Yeah, sheets are great. I love it. You can share it with other people, too. So start doing that. Once you have your list, totally comfortable, we're still in our comfort zone, okay, let's start thinking about emails. I can write an email template. I haven't sent the email yet. I'm just going to write an email template. I'll revise it like 15 times. I'll ask someone else to look at it, and then I'll revise it again, and it ends up being like really small instead of like a huge page. But again, we feel comfortable making email templates. Okay, not hard to do. We haven't done anything that's really like outside of our zone. Okay, this is where we'll start to get outside that zone. So now we have to be a little social and say something to the world. And so we want to maybe go stalk some people on social media, the recruiters or marketers that are already publicizing and see, okay, well, who's looking for Android developers? Who's looking for Firebase developers? Who's looking for designers and so on. So we're just going out there and looking. And we add those people to our lists. Maybe you'll respond to them. Maybe you'll post something. There's a good story about someone who posted a similar picture to someone else that had posted a picture, and then they formed a friendship, and now that's working towards a business arrangement and things like that. So we're going to go out a little of our comfort zone, but so far we're still at our desk in the dark. We're not like having to go out into the real world or talk to anybody. So we should be OK with that. And then finally, the trick is once you make that first contact, where it's a light contact, you just got to keep following up. So they're not going to say, thank you for this 2-word email. I will now keep in touch with you and keep asking you when you want money or keep asking when you need a speaker. They're not going to do that. We have to do that. Even if it's just like, oh, I heard in the news that your company, blah, 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 blah. That's great. Super easy. I didn't ask them for anything. But if you do that enough, and then at some point you'll be like, oh, by the way, we're having a Dev Fest. And that's it. Just say it. Can't hurt to say it. At some point, they might be like, oh, did you want me to go? Did you want me to speak? So just kind of build that relationship little by little, slowly grow out of your comfort zone. Things that you can talk about, that you hopefully are passionate about, are the things about your GDG. So, oh, did you know that our meetup has 30 professional web developers? Did you know that our attendance has been going up, year over year? It's so great. Our last talk, we got this cool speaker from Google or from some other company. It was really great. And you're just like sharing fun facts about your chapter with a stranger. The worst that happens is they'll say, thanks, and which means like, I don't want to hear about this. Or they don't respond at all. But that's probably about as bad as it's going to get. They're not going to say, oh, yeah, well, my meetup, we had 300 people, and they all came from some other. They're not going to do that. So, and if they do, then they're actually like competitive. Maybe you'll work harder. I don't know. But just share facts with them. These are things that you want to know off the top of your head. The last thing you want to do is start a conversation, and then someone says, oh, how many members do you have? And you're like, I don't know. Let me pull out my phone and look it up. So know that stuff ahead of time. It doesn't have to be the right number, but roughly. Don't say 900 if it's 9. You don't want to lie because you'll get called on it.
Or you could say, if you don't really have that many, we're a growing community.
Yeah. Fastest growing community. Things that people like to hear about are things like diversity numbers, how many students versus how many professionals, things that make it sound like that you're a professional and you really know your members well. If you just say, oh, we got a lot of people that like to eat cheese pizza a lot, that's not the kind of thing that I want to sponsor. But if you actually, oh yeah, we have a really diverse crowd and this many people are from this and this many people do that, then it sounds like you know what you're doing. And people like to do business with other people who know what they're doing. No one wants to spend money with somebody where it's like, where's this money going again? So.
It's like a Kickstarter campaign.
Yeah. Yeah. Without any free trials. All right, let's keep moving. All right. So before you send out that email, I recommend having the materials ready. I've had the situation where I send out a mass email, well, not mass email. I send out a lot of emails, and then I actually get a response, and they ask for something. Like, send me your prospectus. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't have a prospectus. Like, what is the time frame before I can respond? And it's like, acceptable. You want their attention. You already have their attention. Don't wait a week while you're perfecting this prospectus or asking a friend across the world to make the prospectus for you. So make sure you start ahead of time and start doing this homework at home with the prospectus or a little PDF. Here's a PowerPoint, whatever it may be, slides. And it highlights, ideally, your past meetups, your past speakers, all those little tidbits that we kind of just know in our head. Just put it on paper. And if you're embarrassed by something like, oh, we only have 30 members, then don't say that. Say we have dozens of members. We have less than 100. It's true. Even if it's one person, it's less than 100. So there's ways of phrasing things where it's not a lie, but someone who's reading quickly might misinterpret you.
I saw 100.
Yeah, I saw 100. I said less than 100. Just don't say something so crazy that then they show up to the event and they're like, where's the 1,000 people? You said 1,000 people. So be careful what you say, make sure it's realistic. But yeah, you can phrase it in such a way that it's not a lie, but it's a little...
Be a lawyer.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But do all this homework ahead of time so that when you get that bite, that person says, I am interested, I'd love to see X. You already have X. And even if you don't have what they're asking for, like a contract, you're like, well, I don't have that, but here's a prospectus. And worst comes to worst, if you're desperate and you really do need it, reach out to your mentors, reach out to another chapter. We've done that before. We're like, do you have a contract? And like, yeah, here you go. And then you just, change the name. Super easy, copy paste. So other things that you can offer to them. So when they say, I am interested, be like, great, let me come up with a package for you. And things that you can offer them is putting their logo on your website, putting your logo on their meetup page, putting a logo on your IWD event or DevFest page. This is like really easy marketing for them, putting links to it, stuff like that. Sending out emails before the event to all the attendees. And you say, sponsored by so-and-so. Or after the event, please do our survey. By the way, sponsored by. You can offer them to give a prize to your attendees. So you didn't have to buy the prize, but you say to them, look, if our attendees do a survey and they'll see your logo, we'll enter them into a raffle, and you can give them a prize. And people, for some reason, think that's a great idea. I don't know. Like, especially if the prize has their logo on it. Like, you mean you'll give away this really expensive thing that I paid for? Great. You could offer other stuff like an actual speaking engagement at your events. So we're going to have a room full of all these people, and your CIO or CTO or whoever can come and speak in front about your product and how it uses XYZ technology. A lot of people love that, especially startups. So offer it. Obviously, the more that you're giving them, the more you want to get from them. So don't start by saying you're going to get all this stuff for $200. Start with something low, and then you can negotiate back and forth. The worst that happens is you give it to them as soon as they ask. But if you offer too much up front, and then you realize, oh, we actually need $200 more, you're kind of stuck. You can't ask for more money. Social media posts is always good, and this is easy. OK, we'll just post on our Twitter. Thanks to our sponsor, XYZ Company. Really appreciate that free swag. And the giveaway I already mentioned. If you're doing attendee bags, this is a great way to fill the bag. So you don't have to pay for the shirts, your mugs, or whatever, or stickers. Get them from your sponsors. And just say, and let them know you're going to need it like 2 weeks in advance. Don't wait till the day of. Everything should come earlier so that you know for sure it's going to be there. Otherwise, that day you got a really empty bag. And then most importantly, if you want like signage or something that they can feel like a big presence. Seriously? OK. So memorize your elevator pitch. This has got to be really fast. You need to be able to say what is so great about your GDG in 60 seconds or less. So when you meet somebody or someone says, oh, what do you guys do? 60 seconds or less, you can exude that passion and say, this is what we do. This is why we're so great. This is why you want to be involved with us. And it's be involved with us. It's not, this is not why you want to give me money. It's, you're recruiting another member. It just so happens that member has a deep pocket. All right, so real quick, we're going to try live demo in the less than 5 minutes that we have left. Gotta log in. So often we're asked, well, that's great that you told us how to do it, but can you show us how to do it? My password is like super complex. OK.
Like 4 times.
Let's see if this works. So earlier today, we practiced getting my laptop on the screen. And
it looks great.
Picture a web page. We could always try the other. Pixelbooks are really notorious for that. Yeah. Am I right? Yeah. The voltage is off slightly, and it just like kills that port.
Yay!
OK, so earlier today, I went to Indeed, and I did a search for Firebase Los Angeles. And I got a bunch of listings here. And these are real from like just a couple hours ago. And one of them looked good to me. One of them looked really good. Left Field Labs is in Culver City. It's like a techie area of LA. And they're looking for a senior full stack developer. And it says somewhere in here Firebase if we expanded it further. It says it, trust me. OK. So the first thing I did was I go to LinkedIn. And I searched for Left Field Labs. And up comes these results. And I actually see that I know someone who knows the CEO and founder. I was like, oh, that's pretty good. Now, if I was really desperate or looking for a job, I probably would reach out to my friend and say, oh, how do you know Sarah? Would you be willing to introduce me, et cetera? But that person that's in between us, I'm not that great friends with. So I don't really want to ask for that favor just for a sponsor. So instead, I clicked on her link, and I see some stuff about her. And I realized, oh, yeah, we have some friends in common, blah, blah, blah. We're about the same age, et cetera, et cetera. And so I was like, OK, let me see if I can figure out what her email address is. And so I did a search for @leftfieldlabs in quotes.com, and I put her name to see has her name ever been posted, her email ever been posted anywhere. You want me to zoom in? This works a lot. Okay. The other thing you could do is you could search for recruiting at. So if I wanted to just look at recruiting at type of thing, or marketing at, or I could go to their social media, that type of thing. But there's another trick that I really like to do, and now we're getting super technical. So this is a great trick. So I do what's called a DNS lookup, and I'm doing it specifically for their mail records. And what I want to know is, do they use G Suite for email? Anyone know this trick already? Yeah? Some people know.
Yep,
OK.
yep.
So it looks like they use G Suite for their email. So there's this security flaw in Gmail that lets you do really cool stuff. So I'm going to send an email. By the way, I started typing the email ahead of time, and it basically says we're having an IWD event, and it's going to be really great, and so many people there would be really inspired by your story of founding the successful company, blah, 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 blah. Here's a link, and I CC'd my co-organizers. So what I'm going to do is come here, and I'm just going to start typing Sarah at, there's someone else, and I'm going to type left. Let's try that one more time. What was it? Left Field Labs?
Yep, Left Field Labs.
And then I just wait, okay? Okay.
Yep.
Now, had I done Sarah R at leftfieldlabs.com, had I done the wrong email and I hovered over it, nothing would show up. But because I did the right, well, something shows up, but it's blank. Because I did the right one and she's uploaded her image before, I get the confirmation that this is her email. So now I know I don't have to do like 5 emails and send it to every possible combination. I know this is her. And I'm going to send this email right now for real, okay? I already cleared it with my co-organizers. And we're asking basically, would she be willing to come to the event? And I also said, and by the way, I know you're busy. If you can't come and you want to send a recruiter instead, or you want to have like a booth and an official presence, we can make that happen. I didn't ask for money, but if she expresses interest, then we'll talk about money. All right, I'll let you know what happens if she gets back. All right. So yeah, do your research. Yeah.
Believe it or not, there are totally DevRel folks who I have encountered on Twitter who are like, no, actually put on like my DMs on Instagram or even on TikTok, ironically enough. And they might have their DMs closed on one platform, but they might be open on one other. So it's a good way to, it's kind of internet stalking 101. I think this is really what this is.
It's still within my comfort zone, even if not in everybody's. But you get used to it, once you've done it a couple times. So.
That tells us a way too. He's been married for a very long time. I've got a child. We learned this out of necessity.
I will probably never meet this person in real life, so it's okay. All right. So we don't have time for this. But later, if you want to come up to us and practice your elevator pitch, we're here, we're available, so are your mentors, and we'll give you feedback as well. And it's something that you can always work on. It doesn't have to ever be perfect. It's something that you can keep growing over time. And as your chapter changes, your elevator pitch will change too. Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you. Do we have time for Q&A or not? Yeah.
I mean, my DMs are open, but I can always reject you,
Yes questions, no questions?
I have a question.
Yeah.
What was the tool that you demoed? You can see
Yeah. So the question was, what was the tool that I used to check their mail server? So it's an MX lookup, and MX is the mail, I don't know what the X stands for, exchange. Is it that old of an acronym? Okay.
Yeah.
So mail exchange. So what we're checking is their DNS records, and we're seeing what mail server they use for email. And if it's not G Suite, you don't get that little added feature, at which point I would have probably done every possible combination of first name dot last name, first initial, last name, last initial, and everything like that.
And odds are, if you can't find them, you can find somebody else that you're closer associated with on LinkedIn or something like that, especially if you kind of knew somebody else at the company, and look up their email, and then you know how they actually structure everything in order to
and you can always just email their marketing team, marketing at, recruiting at, careers at, diversity at, whatever it may be. Eventually, you're going to hit a real person.
Yeah, and quite honestly, probably a number of you folks who are in more managerial or well-known areas for your company probably get these kind of like hits from product marketing emails, and you're like, I don't know how these people found me. Well, this is how they found you.
Yeah. They took my course.
Yeah, especially work emails.
Question over here.
I don't have a question. I just have like a recommendation. So if you're writing a sponsorship email and if you have a template for it, and if you start composing it and if you're copy pasting the content from somewhere else, and if the font and the style is different, then your email will look completely different. And if you're requesting for money and the person receiving the email finds this out, this is a template email, that could be a deal breaker.
Yeah, so it was on one of the slides. We recommend, knowing ahead of time what you're going to say, but try to add personal touches to the email. spend more time writing it. Don't do a mass email. They'll see through it. I delete every mass email I get. But I did get a sales email the other day where someone said, I don't know if you're the right person or if this person or this person at your company is the right person, because I see that your title is X. I was like, wow, they really did a really good research. And I'm sure it didn't take that long to do, but I ended up reading the email and responding to them, letting them know that I wasn't interested. But I did respond and not just mark spam. So, you know, it did work. Yeah.
And just one very quick tip as well. If the company is using G Suite, then sometimes they have a catch-all bucket for, like, if you send an email to an incorrect mailbox, there will be an email like read by a human who will be receiving the email anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, that will also help.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I did want to add like one other one that maybe we didn't think about but or mention. But basically, when you get recruiters hitting you up for jobs, I always politely decline and say, but I do organize X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
And we would be interested in helping you maybe find someone like me or does the stuff that I do.
And that's a win-win, because they'll either say, oh, great, I would love to sponsor, or they'll never talk to you again. So, yeah, either way, it works out well. Any other questions? In the back, yeah.
So it's cold email.
It's a cold email, yes. So like I said, if I was really desperate, if it was DevFest and we were like low in budget, I would probably reach out to my friend on LinkedIn and say, can you do me a favor?
Understand. So
and introduce
cold
us.
emails, and they're known for low conversion ratio.
Yes.
And you're excellent in your templating, put in personal touches, and you already build up your profile. What is your conversion ratio?
No idea. That's a great, I mean, to be honest, I still don't feel comfortable sending emails. I don't do that often. Yeah, so I don't do it that often because I still don't feel comfortable, but the ratio is pretty high because when I do it, I often will end up getting some interaction. Sometimes the people say, well, you know, we'll send some people to the event, and they don't really want to sponsor. But even that's a win because then maybe they'll sponsor the next one.
Or sometimes they pre-buy tickets in groups. So we've had situations where they didn't really have sponsorship money, but they were very interested in our content and pre-bought 10 to 15 tickets just for their company at full price, which sometimes that can be a huge boon.
Yeah, I mean, like Stacy said, like recruiting is expensive. So if they can come to our one event and meet 30 or more people who they could possibly hire, that saves them a lot of time and money. So I'd say it's a pretty successful activity, but I'm not spamming the whole world. I'm very carefully choosing, they're looking for this type of person. They're in our neighborhood. It makes sense then.